Padawan to the Jedi Master Luminara Unduli, Barriss Offee began to grow further apart from the Jedi as the Clone Wars drew to an inevitable close. Barriss, like many of the civilians in the galaxy, fervently believed that the Jedi were deviating from their roles of peacekeepers and were turning into political soldiers. To show her disapproval, she organised a bombing in the Jedi Temple hangar with the help of Letta Thurmond, using nano droids and Thurmond's husband Jackar to detonate the area. Grandmaster Yoda immediately recalled Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and his Padawan Ahsoka Tano from Cato Neimoidia. Their investigation would lead them to the arresting of Letta, and the case was seemingly finished. However, Letta's mysterious killing soon led to Ahsoka being framed by Barriss for the bombing, and as a result of the lack of trust from the Jedi, led to her leaving the Order. But what if instead it was Anakin who had been framed for the bombing of the Jedi Temple? How would the Jedi balance their duty to the Republic with their trust in Anakin? Would he take the same path as his Padawan? All of the answers are to be revealed. Walking through the prison corridors with Commander Fox and a select group of clones, Anakin was intrigued as to why Letta had personally requested for an interview. Although he had asked Ahsoka to perform the interrogation, she was reluctant, so opted to go himself instead. Heading through the layers of ray shields, Anakin sensed something was off. Handing over his lightsaber to Commander Fox, he entered the cell. Anakin began his interview before she dropped to the floor. Looking for its source, he found nothing. The clones outside had seen the disturbance and pointed their blasters towards Anakin. Before he could react, he was hit with a stun blast. Waking up in his cell hours later, Anakin began to meditate, wondering what he should do next. Suddenly, the door opened with a click, and Anakin opened his eyes, seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anakin began to reveal his suspicions as to the suspect framing him, and now it was down to Obi-Wan and Ahsoka to find the culprit, before the Council could get to him. Leaving the prison complex, Ahsoka attempts to contact Barriss, but she was nowhere to be found. Obi-Wan thought this to be bizarre. Heading for her Padawan quarters, Ahsoka knocks, but there is no response. Sliding the door open with the Force, they gingerly walk in, more out of curiosity than suspicion. Stepping into the room, they hear two lightsabers ignite. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka immediately react to the noise, and ignite their own. Out of the shadowed back area of Barriss' room, emerged a masked figure. Ahsoka wastes little time, and engages the figure with fierce attacks. Ahsoka is able to recognise the lightsabers as belonging to Asajj Ventress, but the fighting style was different. Getting the upper hand, Ahsoka tried to cut through the figure's mask, but they acrobatically leapt out of the window into a large open area. Obi-Wan is the first to the scene, stopping the attacker with an outstretched hand, causing them to drop their lightsabers. Ahsoka then leapt from a nearby platform and ripped the mask off, revealing Barriss Offee. Ahsoka stood in shock at whom she thought was an ally and a friend, looking at her with no emotion. Two temple guards are quick to apprehend Barriss and take her to a holding cell, leaving Obi-Wan and Ahsoka to go and free Anakin. A frustrated Anakin cannot wait to be out of his cell, and the trio make their way to the Jedi Council chamber. Standing in the centre of the room, the other council members are deeply apologetic of their capture of Anakin, an apology which wouldn't have been so easily accepted had Ahsoka and Obi-Wan not captured Barriss. Nonetheless, Anakin's faith in the Jedi Order is shaken. Moving into the Chamber of Judgment, Barriss is expelled from the Jedi Order, but not before she states that the Jedi Order lost their way. With Barriss' fate now in the hands of the Republic, Ahsoka is knighted for her efforts, helping to appease Anakin. However, the betrayal of Barriss has an adverse effect on Ahsoka, who, like Anakin, begins to move away from the Jedi. Back in the Council Chamber, the last words of Barriss have seeped their way into the minds of the Masters. The near loss of Anakin have forced them to hold an emergency meeting. Had they been going down the wrong path? Had they been sucked into the trappings of politics? After the entire council meditated, they began to agree with what Barriss had said. The problem was, how would they get out of the war? Moving away from the Senate would be a near impossible task. Heading to Chancellor Palpatine's office for a potential compromise, Mace Windu, Yoda and Obi-Wan began to discuss this issue with the Chancellor. The Chancellor was deeply concerned, but did not show it. This could ruin his entire plan for exterminating the Jedi. He needed to act quickly, even if it meant not having his prized apprentice. Sending the Jedi back to the temple, the Sith Lord pulled over his hood and communicated with his apprentice. Dooku was less concerned, but like his master, did not show his emotions. The revelation by the Jedi could play perfectly into his hands. Nonetheless, Dooku agreed to Sidious's plans to initiate Order 66, as it would provide him with the chaos necessary to do his damage. Closing the hologram, Sidious proudly ordered the execution of Order 66. Looking outside of his office, clone troopers begin to rush into the Jedi Temple from all alleyways to head for their targets. Inside, the Jedi Temple guards are taken by surprise, falling to the floor, causing the other Jedi to sound the interior alarm. From the meditation chambers to the Padawan quarters, all Jedi emerged with their blades wielded, wondering what the commotion was all about. Watching in horror as their comrades fell, they steadied themselves with a barrage of fire. Above them, all of the council members leapt down from their tower, sensing the grave danger they were in, and using a combined force wave, pushed the clones out of the building. However, they knew this would not be the only attack. They needed to get to the root of the problem. Amongst the Jedi Masters, the bearded Obi-Wan Kenobi's usually calm demeanour was evaporating with each passing moment. What had happened to the brothers he had fought alongside? Remembering back to the conversation he had with Dooku on Geonosis, the Sith Lord had revealed that Darth Sidious was controlling the Senate. But who was he? The more immediate problem was the relentless attacks from the clones, and perhaps they could hold the key. There must have been a malfunction in their programming. Finding Shaak Ti nearby, they decide to take a massive risk and head off to Kamino. Their journey is full of danger, having to dodge all of the clones from above, but having anticipated this, the two Jedi make it through to the storm-laden planet. Approaching the landing platform, they find the usual docking area has now been occupied. They are not alone. That is it for part 1 of What If Anakin Was Framed for the Temple Bombing. If you'd like to see a part 2, please like this video, and if you're new to this channel, and my other channel, subscribe for more tips. And as always, leave a comment or what if you'd like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.